I'm Deirdre Fry, for people who don't know me. I'm a resident here. I'm on the school committee and have 3 kids that go to local schools here. So that's sort of, I guess, where I'm standing is I feel like we need to really take what we have now and make it into like an A+ scenario. So instead of, you know, the trails, for example, getting knocked down every flood, or, you know, needing all this infrastructure and people to get it back to square one. Like, that's something to me that's really important, and it's kind of boring. It's not as exciting as a pickleball facility or a golf course, but I feel like it's super important, and it's also really important to make this area sustainable. So that means bringing like working families here and keeping them here so that we can all have this opportunity to recreate, because if they aren't here, we won't have that opportunity anymore. So that includes workforce housing, it includes investments in our education system, which is floundering a little bit right now, which a lot of people aren't really in the loop on, and childcare, and also just sustainability in general. So, you know, things that we can do to make ourselves not so messy here, to try to keep it clean. And I just think these ideas, I think, have been so amazing in the past, like the ideas for mountain bike trails, for a golf course, for the ski mountain. I mean, like all those things, and that's why we all live here. But I think if we are sort of looking towards these, I guess, shining stars and not paying attention to what's around us, it's all gonna fail. So that's my opinion. And so I think, even though, like I said, it's more boring, I think we really need to focus on the working families here, and also just the connectivity between the trails that we do have, and just making that into like an A+ situation where people come here and they live here because of this, and we can recruit people here because of how well managed this place is. So that's where I think we're sort of at this influx where we really need to focus on our infrastructure and on getting working families to be able to live here, so that we can all play.
I think the other unique thing about the 18-hole course is just even in the Flying Network resorts, there's no relationship with a town that we enjoy here. I don't know if everybody got to read the book that just came out. It's kind of, we grew up together. Most places, there was a town there first, and then a ski resort went in, and there's a lot of animosity going on. Not here, which is great. So I think that relationship with the town, especially with the golf course, has really worked well.
And speaking of the trails, just one thing that I think we'll all appreciate is next summer, the downhill trails will open, I think, next summer, and they'll be fully built out in a couple of years. So I do want to just thank Sugarloaf for doing that. I think that will really do wonders for the year-round economy.
One of the things
investment.
we're trying to do in the summertime, what we're trying to do is increase our summer business, and I think the bike park will help. We're pretty confident this will help. Weddings venue, we're going to try to get Bullwinkle's now as a wedding venue. We're investing in that. Just more and more items are, you know, in the mountain bike community, it's huge up here. It's really blown up. Just trying to get more of those kind of events too. And that lends itself for people to be here year round, you know. All these things happen. Usually it used to be that everybody went away for the summer. We kind of closed the doors, but we're not. We're trying to get more and more summer business. So it's one of the reasons why we wanted to do this.
Thank you, John.
Okay.
Steve Benning, President of Snowbrook Condo Association. I'm also involved in the President's Association, which represents all of the condo associations on the mountain. One of the projects I don't see on the list is there is a project scheduled to repave the access road and the arterial roads on the mountain. Right now, the mountain is asking the condo associations to bear 43% of that. The mountain will pay for 57%. I think that's correct. I think there's a lot more people that should be involved in paying for that project because we all benefit from it. I think the town owns a fire station, a golf course, and now we're talking about another golf course on there, which I'm a golfer, I'm all crazy about all that. But I think this is a responsibility when you talk about the infrastructure on the mountain. And right now we have a very poor infrastructure. This will involve all the drainage, and the paving that will last us for the next 20 to 25 years. The project could cost as much as $6 or $7 million. What most people don't know is there's state funds available. If the mountain deeds the access road to the town, then the state can pay for up to 50% of that paving. So just from my perspective, I'd like to see the town and the mountain both work together to cooperate on getting that project done, you know, the best we possibly can, for the least we possibly can, but have the best result. You know, so, you know, that involves we have a engineering study being done now, which will be done end of February, beginning of March, which will give us a good idea, project scope, and also I think a request for proposals. So I would very much like to see that added onto that list, and for the selectmen to consider what their involvement should be. I'm not asking you to accept the road and all like the costs that go with it. I think the mountain would still retain the costs for plowing and maintaining the road if we structure it correctly, but I think it would be a crime to turn away $1 to $2 million of state funds that could help us move the project forward and give the mountain $1 to $2 million where they could work on other things like golf courses and parking and all the other stuff we want to do. So I would encourage everybody, whether you're involved in an HOA that is in your deed that says you have to be part of that, anything that was built before 1984, it's not in your deed. Anything after 1984, it's in your deed. But we've had several HOAs come to us and say, hey, we're not responsible for it, but we're willing to share in the cost. I think everybody that's on this mountain should share in that cost. I think the mountain should share in that cost. So, thanks.
I think I'll answer you a little bit, Steve. We have had the discussions.
No, I know you.
And we embrace the concept, but the devil's in the details.
The details, no question.
Underneath, and that's where the challenge has been between what we perceive as protections for the town and Boyne perceives as protections for Boyne. So and at the same time, it's a 2 to 3 year project out once DOT gets.
Absolutely.
So we've been talking about it, we're working our way towards that, but we realize it's
But it should be on that list.
probably should. Yep.
Sure. Well, you know what, and the reason I hadn't put it on there is that the goal would be, if this were to happen, to have the state funds cover it, and the town accepts the road as a town road if Boyne is interested in deeding it to the town. That's the precursor to enabling state funds. So hopefully there would be minimal town actually investment in that. The town would be a conduit, but this would the goal I think would be to have no taxpayer impact to that if that works out.
Well, I think the town should also be involved in paying for part of it, because like they're coming to me as a condo owner and saying, you're responsible to pay for it. Well, the town's a landowner way bigger than I am, you know, with the fire department, the golf course, you know, so you guys should be involved in paying for part of that as well. Not maybe taking on the whole cost of it, but I think you guys should take a strong look at what the involvement should be.
I think we could all agree that we'd all like to see the state pay for half of it, either way.
So I guess the stumbling block right now is that Boyne has a problem deeding the road to the town, but they don't have a problem donating 36 acres to build a golf course.
Yeah.
So I think that we need to take a look at that.
I can interject that. They don't have a problem.
Okay,
We just
great.
haven't really discussed it to that
No, I get it.
degree.
I know.
And the details.
Is it being discussed?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That's all.
And if we did
No
move
problem.
forward with that, for the town to accept that road as a new town road, that would require a town meeting vote. So stay tuned, that would be something that we won't just do on our own volition, there will be a town meeting vote on that.
I was gonna say,
Okay.
that's the other piece to it, is that in order for us to accept it, it has to be a town vote. So it'll be a March town meeting.
If I could, just for a second, building on earlier, you were talking, the conversation was about the Caribou Pond Road.
Yep.
And the town might have responsibility there.
The town has no responsibility for that.
No,
It's within
that's
the boundary,
state-owned.
it's state-owned, it's within the boundaries of the town.
Okay.
No, I think The town was involved because we would like to build bike trails out there. So the town might help us build bike trails around Caribou Pond. That was why we brought the town in. And also just, is he still here? Dave? Dave, go there.
He's like,
He's hiding.
Dave had all the history, that's why we asked him. And he helped us get funding for the TIF that we were gonna build the dam that didn't work out. So we still have TIF money to develop that area from the county. So we'd like to get a road out there, people can ride out there, we'll build a nice little place there by the pond.
So I think to answer your question here, the state owns the land.
Yep.
It's within the boundaries of the town. That's
Yep.
why the town is pushing for it. For safety, but the state, because the state owns all the 10,000 acres.
Yep.
Part of it is in conservation and cannot be timber managed, but there's probably 6,000 that can. The only way to get that 6,000 acres of timber out is on that road.
Right.
So we'd like to see the state start managing the timber, generate some revenues, put it into the road and the bridges to make it safe.
And I say, so the state originally wasn't gonna do anything, and someone must have talked to them, maybe some timber company, now they are willing to do it. So that's brand new,
It's happening, just,
yeah.
it's like every good thing that works for the state, it's definitely slow at times.
Oh, then maybe I was the only one that misunderstood. It sounded like it was on a town list of projects to be taken a look at. And it is in stark contrast to what we're talking about vis-a-vis a road that serves 3/4 of the population of
It's on the town list, but at the moment, there's no financial cost involved for the town. It's a matter
Okay,
of
that's
the
great.
town pushing.
No.
it.
And just because we've had a few things now that we've talked about that there are more details obviously to be told. Everyone who signed up on the email list, you'll be on, we'll communicate by email. We're trying to make sure we get a lot of information or all the information on the town website as we have it. So
Around the
please,
spam for you, filtered out on it.
so we will get more information, as we get more information. That's just something.